Ladies and gentlemen, Rick here of the Grumpy Old Man Wrestling Podcast. Quick programming note. This episode was recorded before the next wave of massive releases from the WWE. Chris and I will discuss that in earnest in our next episode, as well as having a very special guest to talk about walkout music, someone who is very knowledgeable and proficient at creating such. So anyway, hope you enjoy this particular episode, and we'll talk to you soon.
Morning, dickhead.
Hello and welcome to a post-Halloween edition of the Grumpy Old Man Wrestling Podcast here on the RGC Multimedia. Rick Crabb here with Chris Filato. Before we get to our list of show reviews as we normally do, we had some breaking and unfortunately...
monumental.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not a trick or a treat. It concerns a company that's based here in Baltimore, Ring of Honor. Oh, man, there's all kinds of breaking news about that since we last recorded.
Yes. Apparently, they're closing shop at the end of the year for a hiatus. The rumor I'm hearing, this is strongly a rumor right now, is they're going to make it come back as an indie promotion, more of an indie promotion, and get rid of long-term contracts and pay per performance or appearance. That means all long-term storytelling is going to be gone.
Well, you figured that was going to be anyway if you don't have any wrestlers, regardless of that. But
And they released all the talent from their contracts as of the end of this year.
And unfortunately, with a big story like this, you have all the different talking heads on the internet and the dirt sheets and all that having all kinds of crazy rumors. I've heard everything from possibly AEW buying it to
The tape library.
Right, and also with that, AEW going to HBO Max, bringing Ring of Honor with it. I've also heard instances of, I heard what you had just mentioned as far as Ring of Honor not only being an independent, but also being a developmental possibly for AEW. Or
I could see that. I could see that a lot. Because everybody's on the internet going, everybody's going to go to AEW. No, you can't. Tony Khan's got a stacked roster. There's no more room. There's no room at the end.
It's got to the point where he could actually do a second brand of just Dark and Resolution and just ship everybody off to the Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Guess, but
like they used to in WCW back in the Saturday, when they used to tape for the Saturday afternoon shows.
Right.
But it's unfortunate. Me and you have been on again, off again, on again, off again fans of the promotion since, 2002?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you and I have both been to shows when they were in Philadelphia.
At the Murphy Rec Center. And through we kind of stayed away during the whole Rob Feinstein controversial ending of that. Then I started going again in 2007. And that's where I saw, my only time I got to see Misaharu Misawa.
That was during the Cornette period, right?
That's when Gabe started booking.
Yeah, but Cornette was there.
2007?
Yeah, he was at a show at, because you were talking my ear off when they were at the Burns Arena.
Yeah, because they were at the Philadelphia, I think the Armory, somewhere up in northeast Philly.
That might have actually been later because, there were some personal events that happened after 12. I think that's when they started doing the shows in Baltimore and Sinclair.
Yeah, that's when Sinclair's, And like I said, it was my only first time. I got to see Kenta for the first time. I got to see the legendary before, about maybe a year or two before he died, was Misawa. This is, and I got to see one of the greatest main events I ever saw with Nigel McGuinness with a man now known as Seth Rollins.
Right.
And a faction called Age of the Fall, which, forget, I'm drawn to dark characters. Jimmy Jacobs had like a cult type thing there.
Right.
Then I kind of fell off again because after the Garden Show a couple of years ago, then you took me to Free Enterprise, and I've been to a couple of shows here and there, and I was like, and
well, then the pandemic happened.
Yeah, the pandemic, and one of our friends, and the man who's the ultimate pessimist, you know who I'm talking about, said, "Oh, it's Bully Ray's fault. His booking was shitty." It could be a combination of things.
Bully Ray Virus to AEW confirmed, yeah.
Yeah. But from what I heard, Bully was defending himself on Busted Open Radio. I haven't listened to the show in over a year, so I don't know what was said.
Yeah.
But it's sad to see another promotion go, and it's a lot of people out of work. From what I read on Twitter, a lot of people are taking indie bookings. Most of the female talents say no request for podcast. They're basically not giving interviews.
Interesting.
A lot of them are not giving interviews, from what I'm hearing.
They're afraid that it could hurt them in getting a job somewhere else?
Maybe.
Interesting.
Right after this news broke, FTR, and you want to say this one? FTR posted on Twitter one word only.
Briscoes.
They want them boys in AEW. I've been saying that I wanted them in AEW.
Yeah,
They'd be perfect because they're strong. Their tag team division is so stacked right now.
Yeah.
And it'd be perfect for them.
And seeing them against FTR, I think that would be a good feud.
FTR, the Bucks, the Best Friends, Jurassic, the Luchas.
Yeah. Even the Dork Order.
The Dork Order, yeah. I mean, it's endless right there.
Right.
Even Bear Country, which they would, they're still, I think, if CZW is still a thing, they would go to CZW. And Moose on Impact, and we'll get to him a little bit, said two words. And what were those two words I said to you off the air?
What was that?
Jay Lethal.
Ah.
How would you like to see Black Machismo come back?
That would be awesome. I could definitely see him either being with or feuding with the Petites. But I could see him more with America's Top Team, though.
Oh, on AEW? Mm-hmm. I was thinking more along the lines of going back to Impact.
Yeah, that's a good, distinct possibility as well.
Because he's got friends there and he knows them more.
Of course, I don't know if he'd be doing any Ric Flair impressions if he's in that character again. It would just be back to doing just Macho Man, I guess.
Macho Man, or he'll just be himself and just be Jay Lethal killing people left and right.
Yeah. I think you might also see him just go to New Japan, too, because they got the...
Yeah. The Super Juniors is coming up. So
the revolving door. It's not a forbidden door anymore.
Well, they got the Super Juniors coming up, and they got World Tag League. Mm-hmm. That means the Briscoes might go to Japan.
Right.
I think, in the long run, it'd be better off for the Briscoes to go to Impact, because, like I said, they tape in bulk, and they can take care of the farm.
Right.
Quinn McKay has already got a gig. The interview girl who's now in the women's tournament already has a gig. She's been hired by Danny McDevitt here in Maryland for MCW because she does live here in Baltimore.
Right.
I'm glad for her because I've actually saw some YouTube mentions for her. She's actually not bad, and she's a good. She can bring it. She can bring it personality wise. Yeah. Now, where would you want to see other people, like a certain Beetlejuice type character?
Well, hopefully out of the hospital, from what you told me.
Yeah, the breaking news is about Danhausen broke his tibia and fibula during a tag match, who his partner was Warhorse in an indie show over the weekend. He is taking, just go to his social media, his Twitter, and he has all the links put up about fundraising for his recovery. Because remember, these guys do not have insurance.
Especially not now.
Yeah. This is what I liked about when Jerry Jarrett started TNA. I remember hearing this. Jerry Jarrett was offering him health insurance.
All right. Well, you needed it for Dixie and Russo's booking. I mean.
Yeah. Well, this is when Jerry started.
Right.
Just before Dixie took over, and I thought it was a great thing. But could you imagine the premiums he was paying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one thing about them being owned by Sinclair. They had the potential. It seemed like, okay, they thought it would be kind of like what AEW turned to, where you have kind of like a big corporation or at least a well-funded money mark, behind it. But every report I've heard, especially from Cornette, is basically Sinclair was
Running out of money.
not only running out of money, but before that, they were kind of cheap with their product, unfortunately. Although they've earned a lot of credit from a lot of people as far as keeping the contracts of the wrestlers during that.
And paying them, just like New Japan did. Yeah, New Japan paid their contracted talent through the pandemic when they were shut down. Where would you want to see Shane Taylor? Would you like to see him team up with his old partner, Bearcat?
That would be interesting, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not really familiar with Shane Taylor's work, to be honest.
Shane Taylor is one of the 6-man tag, and I remember when Keith Lee was in Ring of Honor, him and Taylor were a tag team.
Okay, that could be interesting.
They're both similar in size. And they're both
Well, it's funny you mention that because supposedly Mr. Burns was asked about this. He said he has no interest in bringing any of these people aboard.
And that's stupid.
Well, a lot of them, though, had left on bad terms with the set of The Simpsons. So, I mean, it's just...
who's the other big names? Bandito just is doing... I showed you that.
Right.
3 nights in GCW, which GCW could pick up a lot of people.
That's where I think a lot of them are going to go. And Roxy, they just finally had a women's champion, and they're saying she could be defending that belt somewhere or going to, I don't know, she would probably be good with your benefactors and Impact, I don't know.
Her against Deanna? Her against Nikki? Her against Mercedes?
Yeah, and she could probably hit like other companies like
Shimmer.
NWA or Shimmer or
Shine.
Or my favorite indie, MLW, probably a bunch of them will be bouncing back and forth.
It says there's more than one ship out there to go to.
Right.
Some of these guys will probably wind up in New Japan. Maybe New Japan Strong because they're probably looking for more workers here for the United States.
Right.
Again, Roosh. Where would you want to see Roosh? With his old buddy Andrade?
And that's a possibility. He seems more Impact. I could see more Impact with him.
In the Mexican version of LIJ, Roosh is the leader and Andrade was a member.
Right.
Who else is it? I'm trying to think of who's in the roster now. Who's notable in the Ring of Honor? I haven't watched it.
Not notable. One guy I did like because I used to watch him with What Culture's company on the prestigious one, Joe Henry. I wonder where he's going to go.
Dak Draper, that giant human being they got there.
I'm guessing maybe you can go back to UK for ICW. I don't know, but
Dak Draper, who actually goes out with Quinn McKay. If I was Danny, I would scoop him up too.
Right.
Like I said, great Game Changer is a thing. Impact's a thing. Who would you want to see in NWA? Would you see who would be better fit for Danhausen?
Danhausen,
Impact.
yeah,
because of the spookiness.
I think they're more open to spooky and comedy gimmicks. AEW kind of is looks like they're trying to get away with that with all the former WWE people, but
yeah,
they've been getting lately, which is a good thing. I thought they went too far with it at times.
Well, do they have any comedy guys in the NWA?
I'm trying to think.
Other than an interview guy being held as a bowling ball every time Tyrus has been coming out?
Yeah, every now and then they've had some comedy, like Colt Cabana was there for a while, but they're trying to cater to the old Southern gimmick. They want to be, they're NWA, but to me they kind of remind me more of like, I don't know, Bill Watts or Mid-South or something like that.
Well, Billy Corgan's so committed to the history, you know.
Right.
I'm trying to think who else is
Well,
there.
in fact, yeah. But I mean, as far as the company as a whole, just as a homer for this area, I kind of like the fact. I love the arena at UMBC that they were using.
I've been there a couple of times. I actually did like it.
I was kind of hoping that out of this, either somehow Ring of Honor can keep that, or maybe if AEW ever does come back to Baltimore, they might be banned because of the Maryland State Athletic Commission. I'd rather see them. I think that building would be a better fit than the world famous Chicken Box. But
Yeah. Either that, or was that one in Towson?
Townsend, yeah, it's the MeQ Arena. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, although that place I think only holds about. Well, they might hold a little more for basketball. I know.
Pantera played there.
Well, no, not that building. They have a new building.
Okay.
Now. It's called the MeQ Arena. It looks like it's a nice building. The Baltimore Blast indoor soccer team moved in there.
Yeah.
But it's like, it might be too small for AEW now, but you never know. It could
Well, they
build
played
like
Temple University, and how big is that place?
who knows?
Well, they picked up somebody who Impact just. Well, we'll talk about that in the next show.
Right,
Next
yeah.
taping, about the new Impact signing.
Right.
And I'm kind of glad this guy got the gig down here. There's Tony Deppen, who I've seen in CZW. He's really good.
Right. Well, one guy.
Red Titus.
Yeah.
Where
Well,
were you?
he's still in the NWA, so.
Who, Red's there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's safe.
But one guy I wanted to ask you about, though, I forget his name, the Real Man. He's going.
Oh, Silas Young is going to XPW?
The reunion of XPW.
After watching that Dark Side of the Ring, why?
Paycheck. I mean,
I know it's a paycheck, but it's a dirty, filthy, wipe your hands with sanitizer after paycheck.
yeah, but they're going to be at the Hammerstein Ballroom, so I don't know. Maybe Black is getting someone else to.
Hopefully Black's not running it.
Well, okay, well there you go. XPW has an even better chance then.
Yeah, if Black has nothing to do with this,
Yeah.
great.
Which,
it's Rob Black, not Malachi.
Yeah. In a way, I'm kind of surprised that they're doing it in New York since they were more LA, but I guess maybe, number one, maybe he's had legal problems in LA, and two, he runs a cheeseburger shop somewhere in that area now.
In the famous promo from Messiah from CCW, did he say live with his father in Rochester, New York? Yes, he did. So he's from Rochester. So New York would be a better fit for him.
Yes, boss! No, but anyway, no.
Yeah.
Okay, but, yeah, I wish Ring of Honor well, and I feel bad for them, especially as far as the pandemic, and
I think
was
was it a victim of a pandemic and bad booking?
I think the booking was actually going to pick up. I really liked what Marty Scurll was going to do, but then he had that stupid, Me Too movement.
Yeah, speaking out movement, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a 1-2 punch for them. If those didn't happen, I really they were trying to get something going with the NWA, and they were trying to get a feud between Scurll and Nick Aldis.
Yes.
So.
Well, and then Bully took over, and Bully obviously doesn't know how to book.
Well, I wouldn't tell him that, though. I mean,
or his fiance. Well, like I said, were they a victim of that and the pandemic?
I'd say so. Probably more the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, company-wide, but as far as... I really like the direction they were going. That's the reason why I wanted to go to Free Enterprise. Not so much because of Ring of Honor, unfortunately, but because of Aldis coming there. And they were building up to a big...
NWA Ring of Honor feud.
Mm-hmm.
And
also a big title match between...
And I remember you wore your NWA hoodie there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And a lot of people sitting with us, they're like, damn, NWA's back? What the hell is that all about? But...
Yeah, I remember, people were asking... Remember people were asking you about the hoodie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like I said, we don't know what's going to come in April.
Yeah.
They
Well,
said-
nobody does for anything. But.
For April, because that's when they started going to reimagine it and be... What do they say? More fan-friendly or fan-responsive? Is that not what they called it? In that press
It's
release?
something like that, but I don't know. I mean, really all Ring of Honor had to do was just promote themselves better.
Yeah.
I don't think it was so much the booking. The booking was the wrestling was okay. I would pop it every now and then on
On the local Sinclair channel.
Right.
They took it off the air. It's now on YouTube.
Huh.
So
I think they still have it on Fight though, because they show the same
Fight.
program
Yeah,
every
but
week.
I heard they had a special Halloween episode on YouTube. If that's the case, they just lost. I mean, how many viewers on Sinclair they got per week?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean,
Because it's a syndicated show.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, they always had it at weird hours. I mean, here in Baltimore, they had like a somewhat of a regular time slot, like
10 o'clock on Saturday nights.
right, and then they would also have like sometimes,
1 o'clock on Sundays.
or during football. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Or at midnight on Sunday night. So, like,
Yeah.
who's up on Sunday nights at midnight because they have to go get up for work the next day?
well, I don't know. People call 1-900. I need something, But anyway, I can't believe they still have that. So
Yeah, but I'm wishing a lot of better things for the guys who now, guys and girls. Amanda Leon's taking bookings now. Angelina Love's taking bookings now. Do you see Angelina Love coming back to Impact?
possibly, I can
maybe
see her
bring-
hitting a bunch of them. I mean, they also had. I saw that Shimmer is starting to do shows there. Again.
Matter of fact, they just had a show over the weekend, and Kimberly just dropped the Shimmer title. I forgot the girl's name yesterday.
No, okay.
The day before this taping.
Right.
I forgot some new face. I don't remember seeing her face before. And a lot of the Ring of Honor girls were there, and Impact girls were there.
Yeah. Well, folks, we just wanted to discuss that. I know it's a burning topic, and
It's a touchy topic too because we just don't know what direction it's going right now.
right. Well, I mean, it's a scary time for all these people who are
Now out of work.
right. So, Ring of Honor. Hopefully, you'll last longer than some of Vince McMahon's brain cells lately. So, we'll be pulling for you, and I hope they can still keep a tie to Baltimore. But probably the reason they did is because Sinclair. I think once the divorce with Sinclair, they'll probably go.
I hope they
else.
keep the core roster, like the Briscoes and Jay Lethal and all that.
Well, there might be some people that are loyal. I mean, the Briscoes, I could see doing it because, I mean, that was
They've been loyal throughout.
right.
Yeah.
And plus, I think they like the fact that, it's probably a short commute for them. I mean, they can do
It's
shows
from
at
Delaware.
UMBC and go to Delaware and,
Be chicken farmers.
right.
But if they go anywhere, it'll probably be AEW just because they want to answer that challenge to for FTR.
Right.
Because FTR even saying in the promos on AEW, saying they're the best right now.
Now, what I think could also happen too, you have all these people saying, AEW should add them, for streaming or whatever. What if some big company like HBO or Paramount or Amazon or Netflix or whatever decides they want to have their own wrestling show? They can decide if they can pay pennies on the dollar for it.
Like MTV tried with Wrestling Society X.
That was different. That was but I'm saying they can have an old tape library. Especially, I mean, they have a lot of history. They can have their own equivalent to the WWE Network. So
I don't know. Vince has a lot of tape library out there under his possession.
well,
A lot of it. Almost all of it.
yeah, and you can't even get to it now thanks to the cock.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, we'll take that to something else.
All right. Well, folks, we're going to go back to our regular programming in a little bit.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Well, we're not leaving. We're just going to take a little commercial break, and then we'll be back with our regular reviews.
See
You're
ya.
listening to the Grumpy Old Man Wrestling Podcast. And, Chris, by the way, they're not going to see us. All they see is our logo. Come on, man. Come up with some new material.
That's an old
Okay, that's my get off my lawn segment. You got to come up with new material.
That's an old 98 Rock thing.
Yeah. Old and 98 Rock.
Yeah.
Good morning, dickhead. All right, be back. Hello and welcome to the show that dress like Minoru Suzuki and ask trick-or-treaters to give us chops in exchange for candy. This is the Grumpy Old Man Wrestling Podcast here on RTC Multimedia. Rick Crab, and next to me, next to him we have the Batman that laughs, Christopher James Philito.
Thank you. I love that. I'll own that one.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that probably would have been a good costume for you too, but anyway. We talked about what happened with Ring of Honor and the important circumstances with them. Again, we want to wish them well, and
I know the workers find work somewhere.
Yeah, no doubt.
As we're taping this, we're watching this evening's Raw, but I want to get to the previous Raw. I wrote notes.
Okay, let's do it.
The big segment, again, they start with these 20-minute talking segments, and we don't need them. I like AEW, just starts with a match like that.
Right, and when we get to when we started talking about Rampage, there's something interesting that I didn't think about, but it makes sense as far as why they book the way they do.
Okay.
But anyway, we'll go stay on course.
We got
Raw.
Big E. Started out with Big E doing his thank you about the Saudi show. Then Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Kevin Owens came out, and it just became a 5-way gap fest until the Not Raw general manager Sonya Deville said, we're going to have a number one contenders match for Big E in a ladder match.
God, with all those names, you would have thought it would have been for the X Division title.
Yeah. But that was later on that night. Then we had, for the number one contenders for the tag titles, later on that night, Alpha Academy versus the Dirty Dogs versus Street Profits. Did you actually care?
What? You were... Oh, okay. Thanks for waking me up.
Dirty Dogs versus Rude and Ziggler. Who, by the way, why is Ziggler still there if they're just treating him like garbage?
And Rude. Both of those guys. I mean,
Rude's a former TNA champ.
And they were... And when he first came on board, he was Intercontinental, he was tag teams, it was just...
And
what?
NXT.
Oh, God.
Now the Kurt Angle said something that he sees down the road Robert Roode being WWE champion. I don't see that right now.
Yeah, I mean, what dimensional, portal to alternate Earths is he going to? Or
what boom tube.
Yeah. I don't know, is he eating, edibles with, Riddle or I mean, come on.
Basically, Rude and Ziggler won over the Alpha Academy Street Profits. I didn't give a shit. I really didn't care.
Right.
Then we had Doudrop versus, after the coronation of Selena Vega. And Vega just going on and on. And she's nice to look at, but the droning gets on and on after a while. And she won with a scepter to the head. So she's going to cheat to win. Okay. Of course, she's a heel.
Oh, she's like the Macho King, yeah.
Then we had an interesting thing with Damian Priest against T-Bar, and Damian Priest just snapping on T-Bar.
Jesus Liz.
I mean, I haven't seen him like this since Punishment Martinez days. So I don't know if he turning heel or not.
Right. And actually, I will give WWE credit for how they're beginning this particular episode we're watching. They're basically showing a highlight package between the Bianca Copter and Becky Lynch, which should be, actually, it should be a good match.
It looks like they're starting it now.
Well, I think they're building it up. It'll probably be the main event, but I mean, if WWE doesn't decide to put too many McDonald's ingredients in their cheeseburgers, and let this be a good match, it could be a good match.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Then we had Carmella versus Liv Morgan. Geez, why? Why? What? She's still doing the match.
You wouldn't say that if it was in your bedroom.
Yeah, but Jesus Christ, we saw this on Smack. It's supposed to be different show, different feuds.
It kind of reminds me sometimes of WWE what they used to do back in the day when they did monthly shows here at our favorite arena. And I didn't know this because I didn't travel all around, and maybe there's some people that did, and there was no internet then. But basically, the same match you would see in Baltimore would be the same match you'd see in Philadelphia and New York and other places. Sometimes they would change it up, but for the most part, they kind of did that. Just especially with the newer talent, they would do it to try them out almost.
like dark matches for the dark matches.
Right.
It's kind of like I'm a big Iron Maiden fan. I saw them a couple of times, and I heard other places they haven't changed their set list.
Right.
Kind of the same thing. Then we had the Job Squad. I mean, the Hurt Business. What the fuck is she wearing on her head?
Sprockets for the helicopter blade.
Yeah,
I don't know.
against Bearcat.
Yeah, okay.
Cedric and Shelton are now Job Squad guys again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why? Why break them up in the first place and bring them back together? Because Vince McMahon has the ADD of a 3-year-old boy.
Yeah, he's a tough, but anyway. But yeah, you're right. He's been that way for a long time with a lot of the talent, and
he hates tag teams. We know that for a fact.
He doesn't like tag teams. He doesn't like women. I mean,
he doesn't like managers.
Except for the manager's part, if I didn't know any better, I would think it was Jim Cornette booking and not him. But
yeah. But then we had. This is one of the few things I like because this is something new and something fresh. Dominic Mysterio versus Austin Theory, where Theory won and took selfies of Dominic's prone body.
Okay, yeah, I mean, and again, Vince McMahon trying to be relevant, but, it's like people start doing, yeah, kids are taking selfies now. Oh, they've been doing it for 20 years, Mr. Burns.
Then we had the winner of the three-way against RK Bro, which, by the way, I found out that Riddle was the one who thought the name up.
Of course he is.
And Orton loved it.
Alright, well, I mean, it's a good comedy gimmick.
Yeah.
Right now we're seeing Becky Lynch getting interviewed with one of Rob Halford's jackets, but...
Honestly, she looks so different after the baby. I don't mean that in a good way. She's something about her now.
No, I disagree. I think it might be just because of like the outfit she's wearing now to be big time Bex, but no, I think she looks great, especially after having.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Then we had the forward segment, which I'm watching this on delay, so I'm skipping through a lot because it's getting late, and I had to get up for work the next day.
Wah.
Seth Rollins won the 4-way, and there were for number one contendership, and he's staring at the end, a stare down between him and Big E. Are you all in for a Big E Seth Rollins match?
Yeah, especially since they've been doing him and Drew McIntyre to death. I mean, it's like they're burying McIntyre worse than the Undertaker casket match.
Is she no longer called the Man? She's now big time Bex.
Yeah, she still calls herself the Man on Twitter and stuff. Yeah. But oh wow, they're actually having this match now.
Yeah, I told you they're having a match now. She came out.
I thought they were just doing promos to build up to it. Okay,
but I could agree with Russell Talk. I mean, I gave this like a 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5.
I think I gave it a 0 out of 5 and was watching Monday Night Football, but it's
0.00, Mr. Butowski.
0.0. Yeah.
Then the next night, I got to watch NXT. That ladder match. The 3-way women's ladder match. You want to talk about the bump, or should I?
You go ahead.
Io Shirai. I forgot who pushed her off. I think it was one of the members of Toxic Attraction pushed her off the top of another ladder. There was a ladder set up between the announce table and the ring, and you saw Io bounce off the ladder.
Oh, jeez, it was.
And it looked bad. I mean, I thought she was for real. She for real hurt, but I heard backstage she was feeling fine.
I don't watch Nickelodeon NXT anymore, but I did see the highlight of that. It's like, I hope that poor girl's okay. I mean, it looks like if they ever do another one of those do not try this at home videos, they should put that clip in that. That was just really
disagree with what I think it was Ali and Russell Talk said about putting women in these matches. If they want to be treated as equals, let them be treated as equals.
Well, what was his position on it, though? Because
it was either him or Chopper or somebody basically didn't like the women being put in these positions because maybe he thinking the weaker sex.
Well, what I think they should do is actually MLW is actually doing this with their women's division. Yeah. They're actually having weight classes.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially
like UFC.
Exactly, like UFC, and they do have women's boxing too, but where they do the same thing. They have bantamweights, they have featherweights, and stuff. That's what they should do. You should not have Riho going against,
Nyla
Rose or something stupid like that. I mean, the match we're watching right now between Becky and the Bianca Copter, they look like they're evenly matched as far as, as far as I'm concerned, they look like,
awesome, by the way.
yeah, they look like real athletic women. And it's not to shame any other women that are listening out there, if we do have women listening there, but...
We do.
Okay, but these two that we're watching, Bianca and Becky Lynch, they look like women who are professional athletes. To me, it's like when I used to have creds for women's professional soccer, like the U.S. national team.
Yeah.
It's like women that are professional athletes, they're not like China or anything like that. They're lean, they're toned, and they have good cardio, they're fast, that kind of thing.
Unless the 90s where they were just hiring strippers off the pole.
Exactly.
Yeah. Take Toxic Attraction and your new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions.
All right.
Then we had, since it was Halloween Havoc, we had to have Dexter Lumis in a Haunted House Bullshit Bowl segment with Johnny Gargano.
Yeah. Again, Nickelodeon NXT.
They did where Carmelo Hayes, who's the new North American champion, had to go through this haunted house to look for his missing belt. It's just, please stop. Please stop. Gargano got sucked into this.
Well,
and I know Gargano's a huge nerd. And by the way, the picture of him and Candice LeRae as WandaVision from Halloween was awesome.
Right. Okay, this is a clever spot what we're seeing right now.
Using the hair? You always said use the hair.
Yeah, and Becky tried to draw.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a damn good match. It's like
these two girls could go. That's why.
Right. And they should have more of this instead of and of course they go to commercial
for the movie I'm seeing this weekend. Then we had Mr. Woke, Joe Gacy.
Yeah.
Where they're making fun of the whole woke thing against Malik Blade. Mm-hmm. Again, I get where the criticisms come from. I knew Joe Gacy from the Indies. Let him be Chainsaw Joe. I don't like this at all.
Do you know if he came up with this gimmick or not? Because, it's somewhat timely, even though a lot of people are giving it shit, but...
Well, the whole, what was Jake Hager's WWE name? Jack Swagger, with him and Zeb Coulter.
Well, yeah, except they went the opposite. They were more like...
The hardlines conservative right wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one, to me, they kind of remind me of, like what David Starr was doing, kind of almost.
Yeah. I don't care. I don't
care about this brand of McMahon Land anymore. As soon as they stopped being the Slipknot black and yellow NXT to the pastel colored Nickelodeon NXT, and started, deciding they wanted to play mumble rap instead of Slipknot, okay, you lost me. So.
Well, here's a redeeming quality. Roderick Strong, who's the Cruiserweight champion, beat a super heavyweight in Odyssey Jones. Mm-hmm. I like how, I forgot his manager's name. He used to be the manager in Ring of Honor, who's also a lawyer. Black dude, bald head. I forgot his name.
Oh, yeah, I know you're
come out with Prince Nana.
Yeah.
Since you're not a cruiserweight, this is not for the cruiserweight title. You're definitely not under 205.
Right.
Yeah. Then we had Raquel Gonzalez in a trick or street fight.
Yeah.
Against Mandy Rose. Mm-hmm. Good match.
Yes.
They changed Raquel's gimmick look a little bit. They got rid of the ponytail and she's wearing brighter colors. So whenever they change a gimmick or a look, that means you usually lose the title.
Yep, and we'll probably see
her come up soon.
Yeah.
And job to everywhere else, because who's her real life boyfriend? Adam Shear, also known as Braun Strowman.
Ah.
Yes. Well, so now Toxic Attraction has all the major women's titles in NXT.
I bet she has fun when she gets those hands, but anyway.
Then we had Solo Sikoa, who is now a new member of the Fatu family debuting.
Aha.
He is I think he's the younger brother of both Usos.
Okay.
He comes up to a street fighter, coming right off the streets gimmick. Pretty good. I mean, could be good.
Okay, well, except, I don't know, I'm kind of getting tired of these Samoans being booked as,
Badass.
savage. Well, no, not badasses. They can be booked as badasses, but as being, like these savage Samoans with bare feet and stuff like that.
No, he's like a street fighter. He's a street fighter. He comes off like came off
like,
the streets.
like he fights Muay Thai or something. Okay,
Yeah.
well that's not too bad. But I mean, as much as I love Jacob Fatu, it's like, I mean, I get why he does the Savage from Samoa thing, but I mean, I don't know.
Then we had MSK defend the tag titles against Imperium. We have new tag team champions in Imperium. MSK lost the belts.
It's about time one of them, or if not Walter, that group finally got some gold. I mean, I know Walter wasn't he the NXT UK champion?
Yeah, until he lost to Ilioff.
Yeah.
The thing is, I would love to see MSK defend it against the grizzled young veterans.
Right.
They're keeping the young veterans away from that belt title chance. I don't know why. And the main event was what everybody thought it was going to happen, but didn't happen. All the dirt sheet writers were proven wrong because I think Vince basically told them to go fuck themselves.
Right.
Tommaso Ciampa retains against Rick Steiner's son, Braun Breaker.
Oh, man.
Now, every reliable source I went to kept on saying they heard that Braun Breaker's going to be winning the title. Braun Breaker's going to win the title. I think Vince got a hold of that and said, fuck you.
Oh, wow.
What do you think?
He could have. I mean, he likes to change it at the last minute. I mean, for a variety of reasons. So, yeah. I don't understand that booking either. It seemed like they were trying to book, Break.
Maybe Breaker needs to be more time in the oven to cook.
Could be.
But
I mean, the whole thing is, the whole reason why you brought him is kind of like they're trying to change the direction of Nickelodeon NXT, and it's like, but yeah. And sorry, we're still watching the Becky Lynch versus Bianca Copter match, which is still pretty damn good. I would be happy if they just had this and
it's a 3-hour match.
Thank you, good night. We're coming out as Miz yeah. Whatever that stupid show you
or
did.
Total Bellas?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, Roads to Victory, yeah.
But it was somewhat better than Raw.
Yeah. Holy shit, that was a nice damn...
Roll out suplex, yes.
Yeah.
Brainbuster, baby.
That's what it looks like. Damn, whoa.
She's
I was a little
unbelievably strong. I know this is a two-person thing, but she's unbelievably strong.
I'm not so sure about that. I mean, they book her that way, but there's I remember there was one match where it's like, yeah, it's like you could tell Sasha and Becky and Flair were helping her. If you remember, it's like she suplexed both of them through a table. But then before that, she couldn't lift the damn table to get it into the ring.
Yeah.
So,
like I always said, it depends on your dance partner.
Yeah.
Now do you want to get on to Dynamite? They actually went back to their regular time slot.
They did, and one thing I want to say about Dynamite, I enjoyed both that and Rampage this weekend, but AEW, they remind me of this. I remember years ago, there was a local news story about, how sometimes they'll have big buildings or warehouses and they'll have a public destruction, people watch.
The implosion, yeah.
Right. Well, I remember years ago, they did the local utility, BG&E, did this with a big water tower. And
I remember that.
And I remember watching it on the local news. I was sitting, drinking my coffee on Sunday morning, and they said, the explosion was so loud you could hear it for several miles. And literally, I'm not kidding, Chris, I heard that for several miles. Now, what does this have to do with AEW?
Yeah.
Well, every once in a while, there are matches that you see in that company, and you could hear Jim Cornette's head explode. However far it is from here to Louisville, okay? And even if it's stuff that I like, but it's stuff I know, X-Lax and coffee, diarrhea, shit all over, yeah. But
I don't know. I mean, he's been giving props to the Bryan Danielson matches.
Well, I'm not talking about those matches, but we'll go through the card. I'll tell you which ones I think you...
The first match, again, They start off with matches. I think they tonight's Raw took a cue from that because we didn't see the 20-minute talking point, you know?
Right. Talky.
CM Punk versus your new best friend, Bobby Fish. What did you think?
I liked it. I'll be honest. CM Punk kind of reminds me a lot of Piper. He's like 70% promo, and his wrestling's kind of okay.
He's the older statesman now who's trying to prove himself. That's his gimmick now.
Well, yeah, he kind of like took that away from Christian, and they were kind of like booking him that way too. But yeah.
Then Punk wins, of course.
Yeah, and that was a good match. And Bobby Fish, I mean, well, when we get to Rampage, we'll talk about him too. He's like the match that he had him. It's like him and Bryan. I mean, to me they look like. I mean, whenever I see their matches, I told you about this in previous episodes. I wanted to suspend my disbelief. You know, it's like I wanted to believe I'm watching a fight, and
we'll talk about that for Rampage.
I mean, Fish and Danielson. I mean, they look like they're there to fight. They're not there to do a stupid
spot fest.
No high flying. They don't do any goddamn stupid Young Buck comedy or any of that. But okay.
Then we get our favorite heel of the year, MJF.
Yeah.
Against Bryce Donovan, pinned him with the finger.
Right.
The promo afterwards with the Pinnacle, Sting and Allen segment, where you saw again MJF trashing whatever town they're in,
right?
Which is usually comedy, priceless gold.
And I'll be honest, he was doing it against Boston, and dealing with a bunch of Patriots and Red Sox fans. I kind of agree with him actually. Although some of the women there, I would disagree about that part, but
How'd you like Darby in the trench coat?
Oh yeah, Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget came out of nowhere. Yeah. It's gonna be. I think that's gonna be a good match at Full Gear. I actually think that's gonna be a great match. Then we had Sammy defend the TNT title. What were the stipulations of that match against Ethan Page?
If he lost, he'd have to leave the Inner Circle Jerk, and if he won, then the Inner Circle Jerk gets to pick who from American Top Team gets to fight them. Yeah.
Sammy wins. Great match, by the way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Great match, because Ethan Page, even though when he left Impact, he did that stupid cinematic match with his Karate Man personality.
Yeah.
Ethan Page can go.
Right.
Is that right? Yeah, there's Michael Phelps. Then the Jericho segment. I forgot what the Jericho segment was.
Basically, they were just picking who they were fighting.
Oh, that's right, when they ran in. That's right.
Yeah.
Then we had a back and forth between Danielson and Kingston, which I thought was great.
It was great, and it kind of reminded me of Me and You, because Kingston was kind of like, I go through depression, I suffer through all this. Meanwhile, you don't know
like, who, you?
Yeah, it's like, how dare you say I'm lazy and all this kind of stuff, and Danielson's like, good, that's the Kingston I want, that's pissed off. And by the way, I go through depression too, and a lot of people do, so quit your bitching and get off my lawn.
Yeah.
Round of applause, Bryan Danielson.
Then we had what I consider a match of the night, or if not match of the year segment, Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida. Oh my fucking god, it was great.
Serena Deeb is like the female Ric Flair. You give her a broomstick or a kendo stick, or she can make a match out of that. And I'm a fan of Shida's too, so I think it's a good pairing.
Are you convinced that this is the new Flair Steamboat?
I wouldn't go that far, but...
Or is it Thunder Rosa and Baker?
I'd say more Thunder Rosa and Baker, although you haven't seen them
get together. Thunder Rosa in a little bit. Shida won her 50th match.
And it was a great storyline as far as for that tournament, too, because Deeb just got pissed off and it's like, okay, I'm going to bust your knee into a blick, or like Shane Douglas used to say.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Then we get the Lio Rush, Dante Martin. Dante Martin has the perfect resting bitch face for a promo I ever saw in my life.
Oh, yeah, and it's a perfect pairing with Lio Rush, because, Lio Rush...
It's a great mouthpiece.
Oh, my God. You just let him... Dante Martin could have, walked to catering, and, Lio Rush could have done the promo and came back, and it still would have been fine. But...
They're letting this go for 25 minutes already?
Yeah. Good for you, WWE. You're finally listening to us. We want to see wrestling for 25 minutes, not you talk about Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman all day. Even though, I mean, I actually do like that, but, it's better that than, Seth Rollins or Happy Corbin and all that dumb shit. But, no.
We had this probably put a smile on your face. 10 versus Mox. Mox being as vicious and violent as he can be.
I'm wondering
in the number one contenders tournament.
I'm wondering, based on this, and then what we saw later in Rampage, if you're going to see a heel turn from him, because
Mox.
Yeah, I mean,
did you hear who Mox is going to take on in the upcoming in Dynamite?
Yes, and I'm very concerned.
About Pockets?
Yes,
You think Pockets is going to not predictions. But are you worried about him being put over?
Yes, and I swear to God, I mean, I share Cornette's concerned about putting the belt on that idiot, and as much as AEW's been putting on some gold lately, I'll be torn whether or not I want to watch it if they put the belt on that clown. I swear to God.
Or any belt on him, like the TBS, like the TNT table.
I mean, if you don't put a belt on Cowboy Sid or Bryan Danielson, those are the only two men that should have it right now, or MJF.
But if Mox destroys Pockets, you won't be able to wipe the smile off your face for a year.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, but...
Then we had the FTR segment, which basically saying they're the best tag team in the world.
Right.
And like I said, what we said in the previous, they're calling out the Briscoes.
Right.
I would love for Full Gear to see those boys show up at Full Gear.
Right. I'm kind of concerned about this match I'm seeing right now. Okay, I was worried they were going to end it in a count out as far as...
The bullshit count out?
Yeah.
Then we had Cody, Pac, Andrade, and Black in a segment, which it looks like we're going to set up a tag team, maybe at Full Gear?
Yeah. I think eventually you're going to see that.
Don't like it.
I mean, I like the characters involved. I like Black, I like Pac, and...
Andrade,
I can deal with
the ladder
that.
match made him a little bit.
I don't know. He's kind of meh.
Are we going to say Glam Slam?
Yeah.
Glam Slam.
Oh my.
Or what do you call it? The Implant Buster.
Yeah.
Then we had the Dark Order versus the Elite, which that surprised me because the Dark Order won.
Okay, that was the match I was referring to as far as hearing Jim Cornette in Louisville, Kentucky.
With the Ghostbusters gimmick and all that.
I mean, it's for Halloween, so that was okay. I mean...
But doing the running in with the backpacks and everything... Yeah.
The funniest costume I thought was Colt Cabanas.
Oh, dressed as Sutter? Or what?
Yeah, and he actually got to use the cold spray against the Petites.
Oh, there's your finish right there.
Maybe we see...
2, 3.
Okay, and we see big time Bex reach a pair of Tyson.
And an exposed turnbuckle.
Yeah. I hope they don't do any bullshit where we see, Adam Pearce or Sonya Deville say we're going to restart it or whatever.
I would.
And look at all these people cheering. We're watching
And she's supposed to be the heel.
Right. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold Becky Lynch says so.
Yeah. Well, remember, Austin was promoted as a heel and everybody loved him.
Yeah.
But all in all, what would you give AEW?
Oh, that was, I'd say 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
I mean, the only reason I didn't like it was because of, the comedy match was,
It was a comedy match.
Right. But, I don't care what the ratings are, as long as TNT is happy and will air the shit. I mean, you were getting quality. You're getting, if you're comparing it to cheeseburgers, you're getting Red Robin from AEW, and you're getting,
McDonald's.
Ranging in quality from McDonald's to Little Tavern with.
Yeah, I like Little Tavern.
Okay, you would.
Then we get the Impact, which I watched. Moose's segment.
Yeah.
Moose did a promo. Mm-hmm. He said, I don't care if you're a chief of a tribe, somebody who thinks they're elite,
Yep.
a king, a queen. I mean, he went from the list A to Z to other companies.
Right.
And he was just basically ripping into them.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with the same thing. I thought it was a great promo.
Okay.
I know you want your world champion to look like a killer. Moose looks like a killer.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Look, it's the crab dance. It looks like they're trying to set up. Moose came out, did his promo, then Eddie Edwards came out, and all of a sudden, the King of Kaiju's come out.
Oh, okay.
They let him play his music.
Yeah.
And in front of a live crowd, which from what I understand, it was a full sellout crowd again at Sam's Town.
Right.
And they're going to be coming back there in November again.
Gotcha.
Who drew the roadmap on Austin Theory's head?
I don't know, probably the same people that drew it on Mysterio's son, Dominic.
Yeah.
Kids in these haircuts, I suppose.
Then we had an X Division title match with Trey Miguel versus Rocky Romero. Excellent match.
Okay.
Awesome match because Rocky could go. And you know what they call him? The king of sneaky style.
Okay.
Then we had Tasha Steelz versus Rachel Ellering. Rachel Ellering won.
Okay.
I'm beginning to become a fan of Rachel Ellering's work.
Yeah. I've
She's
seen her a
hard.
few times.
And you've seen Tasha Steelz in NWA.
Yeah.
What do you think of her as...
I've seen them both in NWA,
What do you think of Tasha Steelz as a performer?
She's good.
She's not great.
Yeah. And Rachel Ellering, I've also seen her in the dark matches for AEW Dark and stuff as well. And I honestly though, I think, and I don't mean to body shame. I just mean as far as conditioning, which might actually help her. I think Rachel Ellering, needs to
Drop a couple of LBs.
Yeah.
That's your opinion, man. That's your opinion.
I mean, she suffers from the same ailment as mine, man. She's got the...
Well, you got to remember who her dad is and all that, you
Yeah.
know. Then, the segment of the night, they changed the name, but they never changed the gimmick. They're still annoying. They're still loud. They're funny. What used to be iconic is now inspired.
And glad to see them back. They need to...
Gia Miller came backstage to do an interview, and she only answered 2 questions. She says, and they had 2 guys there holding bottles of water waiting for them.
Yeah.
And when they told Gia Miller to go, Billy Kay, Jesse McKay, went to just shoot off the camera and go, I was like, I'm laughing my ass off. It's like, and they were finishing each other's sentences.
Oh, wow.
I think they did in WWE too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Thank the gods. Thank you. I can't believe I'm thanking
Those
Scott
girls
D'Amore.
remind me of an old cartoon on Bugs Bunny where I forget the name of the characters. They weren't Chippendale because that was... they were the ones that talked... The groundhogs that talked to each other.
Yeah.
I say, the way they go, banter back and forth. I love them. I wish they could still keep the iconic name because I miss Adam Wilborn from Culture Young. Iconic! But...
then we had Heath Slater and Joe Doring who went to no contest because everybody ran in and interfered from Violent by Design. By the way, the return to action of Eric Young. He had a torn ACL. He is back in action.
Okay, yeah, it's funny you mentioned about Eric Young because I saw something of his not too long ago. I didn't know they had this.
Right.
Now... With YouTube TV, which is what I used to cut the cord with, they have a thing when you watch replays of shows, they'll suggest other shows with it. And one that they suggested after watching, it was either Rampage or Dynamite, I forget. Apparently he had a fishing show.
Yes, he did. Yes.
He was a crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah.
He's nuts. That's not a gimmick. I think he really is a world-class maniac.
Right.
Then we had... the Demon, Dale Torborg, and John Sawyer was addressing him down A to Z. Then all of a sudden, here comes Crazy Steve and back to Roost. Does that mean the Demon is now part of Decay?
I'm surprised they're getting as much. Now, here's the thing with Impact. Do they do like what Ring of Honor and MLW does, where they tape all their shit like a month in advance or whatever?
Yes.
I will explain it because I can't see them using the Demon for more than one match out of that pay-per-view.
I think he lives in Vegas because they did all their taping in Vegas. It is what it is.
I mean, have you heard anything about like agreement with Gene Simmons? I would imagine that.
Yeah, because you know how he is. If you use any, he'll want some money out of it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like, and he forked over some money to WCW so they could use that character and then play that concert that nobody watched at the end of Nitro. But
well, we had the Mickey James come out and say, "Thank you, I won the title for you guys." Yada yada yada. Out comes Madison Rayne. So we're going to have a Madison Rayne title against Mickey James title match this upcoming Impact.
Ah, okay. They're actually showing highlights of.
Yeah.
They never do this with NXT unless this is just a commercial for it.
Yeah, well, they had to. Yeah. The surprise.
Right.
Which one a taxing attraction? Take your pick.
Mandy for sure.
Mandy for sure.
I like the new look with her. I will give her that. He does look
good, yeah. Then we had Moose and W. Morrissey, Big Cass, looking for a partner for a six-man for the upcoming episode of Impact. Guess who their upcoming episode is?
What?
They're both kaijus, right?
Okay.
The kaiju master. The man who laughs.
It's going to be Big Cass's partner?
Big Cass and Moose's partner.
Oh, Lord.
Against Josh Alexander, Eddie Edwards, and I forgot who the third was going to be. But Josh Alexander, at the beginning of the show, go back to the beginning of the show, Josh Alexander and Suzuki just traded forearms with each other. Of course they did.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's Suzuki's gimmick.
Right.
I like that. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Again, we're watching Raw, and we're not really seeing a lot of talking points this show.
Right.
They're really firing off match after match after match.
Oh, they're showing
it looks like they're taking a leak.
God, yeah. Okay, I mean, all right, that's different stuff. So, I mean, that's good. I mean, not everything. I mean, just because something's new doesn't mean you have to like it, but I'll give them credit for doing something. It looks like somebody's actually paying attention now. So,
well, from what I'm hearing, somebody's always got AEW on, and if they're on the same day,
yeah,
like they did for a couple SmackDowns ago, where they were running head to head. So they said somebody in that gorilla position had AEW on. Yeah.
Okay.
Then the main event was, I don't know why this was the main event, was Ace Austin versus Chris Sabin. I think they gave this to Ace Austin because of what happened to him in real life.
Okay.
You know what happened to him in real life.
Well, maybe our listeners don't
I said this like a show or two ago. He was involved in an apartment fire. He lost everything.
Oh, wow. Okay, that was him.
Him and Gia Miller are together, and they live together, and those two lost everything. So maybe this is like a gimme to him.
Yeah.
And he won the match, by the way.
Okay.
It was just a standard.
Yeah.
Then I settled down for Friday Night SmackDown, and I put it on, not realizing the World Series was going to be on.
Right.
I had it on Fox. I was like, why is there baseball on? Oh, great. I'm going to have to wait
Seriously,
later.
though, why you're asking why they would put the World Series on over...
I thought it was done. I thought it was
No,
done
it's the
already.
playoffs. No, it's the World Series now.
Yeah.
They'll probably finish before the next episode that we record.
Tomorrow night
the night after this taping.
Yeah. Then we had SmackDown, and I did watch that a day later.
Right.
We had Charlotte doing what I don't understand was the winking of the eye thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, just winking to the camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did she? Was that like a little "I told you so" thing?
Probably for
the whole Becky
under Eddie no promo. Yeah.
Yeah. Sasha, who I still think is a heel. Charlotte, who's definitely a heel.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, here comes Shotzi Blackheart.
Right.
So I'm confused here. What our old friend Jamie used to say, "Confuffled." I'm confused and fucked up at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much.
So because you don't know who's where, what, when.
Yeah.
Do you like that idea? To keep the audience guessing?
In a way, I mean, I'd like to see more of a defined role, but I don't know, just to see 3 attractive ladies play at once, I'm okay with that.
Then we had Lynn and Charlotte versus Shotzi. Very good match.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's Charlotte, even though she is such a huge problem child from what I heard.
Right.
What Russell Talk said, as the day of this taping, said she was to blame for a lot more stuff than we know.
Mm-hmm.
Then afterwards, with Charlotte winning because of distraction of Sasha, we see Shotzi go ape shit on Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did Shotzi turn heel?
No, she probably just wants to...
She's a pissed off babyface?
Yeah.
And where's Tegan Knox? Did they break up that tag team already?
I think they did, but I thought I heard something with her. Isn't she injured or something?
Again?
I thought I saw or read something about that. I'm not sure what the situation is there, but...
Then we had Jeff Hardy, Corbin, and Moss. I didn't care. I hate Corbin with a passion.
Well, yeah...
He's got go away heat.
Yeah, him and Shecky, what's his name, it's his manager too. Yeah, it's like...
Rick Moss, you were part of Raw Underground.
Yeah.
You were actually really good in Raw Underground. Why?
Because Vince McMahon says so. That's why.
Then we had you want to talk about this? The Brock Lesnar quote-unquote fine?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the fine was probably what they actually paid this Lummox per match or per 10-minute segment. I don't know.
I have to do the Dr. Evil. $1 million.
Pretty much. I mean, it's an excuse to keep him off of TV. Okay.
Until probably the Rumble.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to go see this too.
Yeah.
Then we had Drew versus Mustafa Ali. And it was a Drew McIntyre Open Challenge.
Right.
The Ali promo afterwards is basically saying because of the way I look. Are they going to do the racist thing here?
Again, yeah, probably.
Oh, they're bringing back the dogs? Cool.
Ghostbusters AEW confirmed, and we'll get to that shortly.
New Day Hit Row segment, New Day and Hit Row? Yes, please. More, please.
Alright.
Yeah, then they get in the ring for Kofi to be knighted.
Yeah.
And then the Usos come out. Then we get the Usos and New Day. Again.
I swear to God, WWE, don't you think you sell enough merchandise and enough sandwiches and beers in those arenas? Come on. People at home can't do that. They just go, and you have to go to the liquor store or set their alarm until
we don't want
pancakes.
pancakes.
Yeah.
We don't want bootios either. Do they still make that as a thing?
I go to...
I know it was at record stores for a while.
Yeah, it was at FYE for a while. I don't know. They probably do. I don't know. I think they might have shied away from that.
Then we had another Halloween gimmick match, a trick or street fight with Nakamura, Boogs against Corbin and Moss, which Corbin and Moss won. Apparently they're going to move him into Intercontinental title territory.
And why the hell would you have your own manager put a fucking pumpkin on your head?
Well, did you hear who interfered in that match?
Who?
Gaza and Guerrero.
Who and who?
Hector Gaza, Humberto Guerrero.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Angel
Gotcha.
Gaza. The family tag team.
Gotcha, okay.
Which looks like I think they're going to feud with Nakamura. I don't know who's feuding.
Nakamura and Boogs, yeah.
I don't know who's feuding here.
Yeah. I don't think Vince does either, but...
Then we had Sonya
Deville
and Naomi segment, which against Shayna Baszler, where Sonya was the referee.
Right.
I like how they kept on saying the referee shirt's a perfect fit for Sonya over her suit.
Right.
Who cares? It's going to lead up to Sonya versus Naomi 1-on-1.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't know. But Shayna's being the killer that she is. That we know she can be. How you like that?
It'll be interesting, but
They only had a no DQ match between New Day and Usos. Seen this movie so many times and the sequels.
I mean, yeah, they have good chemistry, but yeah, you're right. But I mean, it's like as long as one of them has the belt, you're going to see them over and over and over and over.
Then we got rid of the motor oil. We get to the steak tartare. Is Rampage.
Right? Yeah. Get away from Friday Night Groundhog Day.
Yeah. I like that. I probably might have to use. Can we use that more often?
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston. Holy fucking shit!
Round of applause. Great match.
Both of them.
And here's the thing with that, Chris. You and I have spoken several times. A lot of people talk about this. Why do they always put like what should be the main event on first? And I found out why this was the case.
Why?
Rating trends. They've been saying that their numbers have been dipping from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. So they think 10 o'clock has the most eyes on their product, so they put on the
That's
best
smart.
match.
That's actually smart.
Yeah. So
Poor Danielson's chest. Jesus Christ.
I mean, does the guy have any more blood vessels burst in his chest from those?
and like, I'll even agree with what I think Excalibur said about Kingston. He's a fan of that old all Japan style.
Right. Well,
And
that's what he was trained. Yeah.
And you see him do the kibashi chops.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of All Japan, I actually have a story about that when we get to our other indie segments.
Yeah.
I guess,
But I gave that stuff. My God! And how'd you like to finish it? Him flipping off Danielson as he's pulling him out of the triangle.
yeah, he couldn't get it out of his like after Well, not only when he had him in the submission, but he was also giving him what was it, elbows or oh, those two guys. I mean, they are believable. Now, I mean, they're believable the way they talk and the believable way they fight. I mean, Danielson sounds more like a professional athlete. He sounds like a UFC guy, and he's usually humble and understated. He's like, okay,
He's like the Bob Backlund way of speaking.
Oh, I wouldn't say Bob Backlund is way too dry for that. He just reminds me of like what a regular UFC guy is like. Okay, yeah, look, I'm looking forward to this match. I'm looking forward to stretching this guy out and breaking his kneecaps and everything else. But I mean, he says it so calmly. Kingston, on the other hand,
went ape shit.
Well, not only, but I mean, he does that all the time. I mean, Kingston is a guy that I honestly believe if we went to like our favorite bingo hall in Philadelphia and he like had too many drinks at Delilah's Den, he'd be like picking fights with everybody in the bar. And he comes across that with...
Oh, nice finish. You know what that feeds into? The father and son feud.
Oh, so we saw Augie Doggy screw over Daddy Doggy in the feud.
Yep.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah, this could feed into that, what they've been doing for SmackDown about father and son thing.
Yep.
How many stars would you give Danielson and Kingston?
I would forget Meltzer system. I would be like, when a teacher like goes to Staples and buys those little gold stars for the class, I just empty like the whole pack.
On this match?
Oh my God, yeah. This whole Carter Rampage is probably like the best one I think they've had yet. Among them.
Okay. Then we had Punk being interviewed backstage and Kingston interrupting and getting the Punks, which was going to build up for either the upcoming Dynamites or Full Gear. We're going to get Kingston.
Good story building, and they are putting together. I mean, they're taking advantage of getting all these ex-WWE people, and you're getting to see the build after Dream matches, which is amazing. That's what AEW is doing right here.
Yeah.
You're seeing more and more of this, and less of all petites.
Well,
The petites.
We didn't see any. We didn't see anybody from the Elite on this show at all.
No.
Then we got Matt Sydal versus Dante Martin. Dante Martin's a goddamn star in the making.
Yeah, big time.
Even though he's got to work on his facial expressions when he's doing interviews, because
he's still young too.
Like I said, he's got resting bitch face like crazy.
That's probably why they put him with Leo Rush. So, and that's smart. That's smart. Oh, that's an old school move, which I definitely appreciate. It's like you have somebody who can't talk, you get somebody who can to put them over, and it's. And I think they would be also good to see as a tag team.
Well, they're probably going to build that up eventually until his brother comes back. Mm-hmm. Whenever his brother comes back.
Right.
What did you think of the match?
Excellent. I mean, all their matches have been gold too. You know, and then you have the undercurrent of the story of waiting for Leo Rush to eventually fuck him over. But you know, that's
the man of the hour.
Yeah.
Then we had the street fight. What was it? The trick or treat match.
Yep, trick or treat fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Your future ex-wife against my future ex-wife.
Well, Britt Baker is quite attractive, but you know what? I know mixed marriages, in my case, meaning Ravens and Steelers fans, it doesn't work. So Bay, yeah, she's stuck on the Bay. I mean, Jamie Hayter, on the other hand, I think I could turn around.
Somebody mentioned this on Twitter. If you watched the promo she did Friday night with Mark Henry, her and Rebel did the DMD thing. Hayter didn't.
Oh, yeah.
It could mean nothing. It could mean everything.
That could mean, yeah. By the way, that was probably one of the best
Mark Henry segments.
Yeah, especially Abaddon.
Abaddon just spewing blood.
Yeah, and it's like Abaddon. I don't blame you. I feel like that sometimes during Mark Henry. But anyway,
I agree with Mr. Pessimist again that Abaddon's still kind of green in the ring when it comes to wrestling, but the gimmick works. The gimmick so works, don't you think?
Well, I like the gimmick myself, but here's why I think it might not work.
It's detrimental to her?
Huh?
You think it's detrimental to her?
Well, I think it might be like too gory for the actual network. I think TNT is scared. And maybe the sponsors might be scared.
Yeah.
I think I even heard during one of her matches where, I think it was like the one she had on Dynamite with, no, it was on Dynamite against Sheeta.
When she bit Sheeta?
Yeah, you remember when Sheeta defended the belt against her?
Yeah, she bit Sheeta,
Yeah, and he said like a lot of people were scared of that.
Yeah.
And like, they were afraid of like, but I mean, you have the shows on at 10 o'clock at night. How many little kids you going to have watching that? Come on. And for that match did work because it was Halloween.
And it was a no DQ match, which meant, what did that guy say in XPW called? Thumbtacks?
Yep.
We had thumbtacks.
And violent crap. Yeah.
And violent crap. Which, I will say this, Britt Baker took the thumbtack bump.
Well, and she was brilliant with that too, because the whole thing was like, when she brought all of a sudden, she wasn't scared that she had to put her hand in the zombie's mouth, but she was scared shitless when she saw the thumbtacks, because she was like, oh no, not again,
Yeah,
like,
she's having flashbacks.
Yeah, and brings back past storytelling with Thunder Rosa. So.
No, I like it when she had her in the lockjaw and she was about ready to stick it in the mouth, then she looked at the mouth going, oh no.
Right, exactly.
Oh no.
And then Abaddon started biting her, and this is...
Again, I like the gimmick. I love dark gimmicks like that, and it's a great gimmick. She needs to cook more time in the ring a little bit.
And poor Rebel, my goodness. It looked like...
Did she get hit in the side of the head or something? Because she was bleeding. Was that real blood out of her?
I think it was Abaddon's blood on her.
Yeah.
But still, it was like... They sold it like she bit a chunk off of her. Like,
she kept on wiping her face a little bit like, what the fuck,
Well, it could have been Abaddon's blood. But, still, that was pretty gruesome.
But how would you grade that match?
Whew. That was
the low
point.
That was
the low point, but that was still pretty entertaining to see. That's what you kind of expected. You knew that Baker wasn't giving the belt to her, but I was curious whether they were going to extend a program with her or if this is going to be one-off. To me, it looks like it's going to be a one-off.
One-off, and she'll be going back to dark.
Yeah, which I'd like to see her get more of a push, but,
Like I said, give her more time to cook. Give her more time to cook, like Braun Breaker in NXT.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about Thunder Rosa. This broke the previous day of this recording. I found out Thunder Rosa is dealing with a concussion. If you know, and since you're a football fan and I'm a football fan, we know about concussion protocols. She's not going to be allowed in that ring until she passes an impact test.
Right.
And I don't know how. And concussions depends on the person, right?
And also, it could be an issue with I know whatever cities they travel to, their athletic commissions also. So.
Where was she stationed? Isn't she live in Texas now? And she's Mission Pro. That's her baby.
Right, yeah. She's also been going to Orlando for Universal Studios
Yeah.
and stuff like that as well. So
We may not see her for a little while.
yeah, which is a shame. She's probably one of their best talents women.
She's the best female. Who would you rank the top 5 female workers right now? Out of all companies.
Out of all companies?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not. These aren't going to be my rankings, but these are just what my top 5 are,
Yeah.
just randomly. Definitely Deeb, Rosa, Baker. Beyond. Well,
After seeing that?
yeah, Bianca Copter, and then I'll do 6. Becky and Charlotte, actually.
Pretty much the same thing for me. Yeah. Oh, and if I have to add a 7, it'd be Mickey James or Deanna Purrazzo right now.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I could add those two. I mean, if you did like a top 10,
Yeah.
all of them would definitely be in there. So yeah.
But anything new from MLW? Because I let loose news before the recording that shocked you a little bit.
Yeah, there's a few things. Before this taping, MLW is going to have their card, which minutes of it will be aired on Thanksgiving night, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh.
It's for the War Chamber, which I found basically it's not going to be like a War Games cage. I think it's just going to be a single cage, but with topped with barbed wire.
Ooh. Didn't we have that before in WWE?
Oh yeah. And they're going to right now, as of this taping, it looks like it'll be a 5-on-5 where you have Contra with Jacob Fatu, Joseph Samael, Max Kruger, and 2 mystery guys who are called the Sentai Death Squad, who are basically just their jobbers in masks. Against so far Hammerstone, the Judge in UK, Richard Holiday, and now they're looking for 2 mystery partners.
Damn.
And it looked like it's a stacked card. It'll be also their fusion tapings in Philadelphia because they also have another match between Ares and Artemis, and that will be for a briefcase of Ricky Ricardo's money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you have that, and then you have an open national open weight bout. I think it's I have to see who's. I know that what's his name? The guy from Injustice who's with Oliver. I forget his name. Brandon. Myron Reed. He will be going. It'll be a 4-way match for that belt. Have I think his name is Cross, and he's going up against Enzo.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Enzo.
Yeah.
Oh, such toxic right there.
Yeah. You have Willow Nightingale going against Holidead. You have the sister team of the Seashells.
Mm-hmm.
Sea Stars against, I forget the 2 names of the other ladies. That should probably be a decent match, though. Anything with those 2 women they're easy on the eye if nothing else.
Yeah.
And then there's some interesting news about Tajiri. He will be taking his belt and defending it in all Japan.
I read that, yes.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. So good for them. They're trying to. I mean, MLW actually they've done a fairly decent job as far as working with independent companies. They've worked with CMLL recently. They're trying to. I guess they're trying to do some Japan stuff, So, I mean, I'm guessing is this any way related to the Baba family promotion, or is this?
I don't know who runs it now.
Right.
I honestly don't know who runs it.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 upcoming New Japan shows coming up. We got November 6th, which is Osaka. Then we have the Los Angeles show a week later.
Right.
The major matches off the Osaka show right now. This is Power Struggle, which is usually one of their major shows.
Mm-hmm.
We have the never open weight 6-man tag team title match. The champions of Chaos of Yoshihashi, Ishii, and Goto versus the House of Torture called Sho, Takahashi, and Evil. They're all Bullet Club.
Oh, jeez, it was.
Then...
Wait a minute, Goto? Not Tarzan Goto, is he?
Hiroki Goto.
Oh, Hiroki Goto. Okay, I was going to say.
And you know who manages Evil now? Dick Togo.
Oh, jeez, it was.
Remember, wasn't he a member of Kaintai?
Yeah. I
Then,
got WRPP. Yeah.
then for the KOPW trophy, that's a gimmick match trophy.
Yeah.
Great-O-Khan versus Toriano versus Great-O-Khan. Toriano defends in a Kiss My Feet or amateur rules match.
Oh, Lord.
Toriano's their comedy guy.
I was gonna say, it sounds, I mean, is Jerry Lawler booking that fucking match? I mean...
Then we have for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, Robbie Eagles, who is fucking fantastic. He's the champion versus from Suzuki-gun El Desperado.
Okay.
Then we had for the U.S. title, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus a man we all know named Kenta.
Ah.
You think
The Go to Sleep Club.
The Go to Sleep Club, yes. Then we had for the briefcase, for the G1 briefcase, Okada versus Tama Tonga.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy is right. Then for the IWGP World Heavyweight title, the champion Shingo Takagi versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Interesting.
How would you like to see a new a British World Champion?
I don't really care about that, but...
Then we have a week later in San Jose, California, on November 13th, which I'm hearing rumors that Okada's going to show up. That's not the 2-week protocol. Think about that.
Okay.
Some of the matches are Stray Dog Army of Baton and Mysterioso versus Brody King and Chris Dickinson. Brody King's one of the released names from Ring of Honor. And a lot of people are saying he should team up with Black in AEW.
Interesting, okay.
Then you have Juice Robinson versus Moose.
Juice versus Moose.
Juice,
One of them's going to get loose.
yeah. Then we had Alex Coughlin, Alex Zane, Rocky Romero, David Finlay, and Fred Rosser versus Team Filthy. Tom Lawler, J.R. Kratos, Danny Limelight, Jarrell Nielsen, and Royce Isaacs in a 10-man.
Okay.
You interested in that one?
Yeah, I am, actually.
Clark Connors and Carl Fredericks. Aren't they both MLW? I think Carl Fredericks is.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while, but...
Versus the United Empire of Jeff Cobb and TJP.
Ooh, interesting, okay.
Ren Narita, who I've seen, he's actually pretty good against the aerial assassin, the man who has also the IWGP World Champion, saying he's the true World Champion since he's never been pinned, Will Ospreay. And in a last chance for the never open white title, Jay White versus Ishii. If Ishii loses, he can never again challenge for the never open white title.
Okay.
They both sound like both good cards, so I'll probably watch both of them.
Yeah, I got a question for you about Cobb, though. How come we haven't seen him in a while? It's like...
He's been in Japan. He was in the G1.
Okay, so it's the quarantine stuff.
Yeah, it's the quarantine stuff.
Right.
He was in G1, which him and Okada were neck and neck in their block.
By the way, I have to wonder if there's a wardrobe place for both Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. If it's like instead of Men's Warehouse, it's like Assholes Warehouse. Based on what they are. I mean, I'm
what
looking
would our friend Dutch say? Nice suit. You killed the couch.
pretty much. I mean, it's like when every time Seth Rollins turns his back, I think I see a sailboat, but ain't.
It's a schooner.
Yeah. Exactly.
But overall, we still got the Tag Me In Foundation. There's more testimonials coming out from different people around the business. I think Gail Kim said the fundraiser's doing great.
Right.
Lita's wants more about this in both major companies. Vince ain't going to do it.
What's this now?
About mental health.
Oh, okay.
About his workers. He don't care about his workers. Piper said this in an old RF video shoot interview. He doesn't care. You're all bodies to him.
Right.
You're just numbers to him. To put money in his pocket.
That plus, it's like I think it's also that he wants have his own. He wants people to have his crazy regimen where they work every day and they work out every day and sleep 2 hours every day. That kind of stuff. And
when the old man's dead and gone, maybe everything will go back to normal.
When the old man's gone, it's going to be owned by Disney or NBC Universal. That's what.
Which they'll probably have health care. Or they're still going under the independent contractor bullshit. Which, that still blows my mind.
I think the only way these guys will get any union representation is, I think that's why a lot of them go to movies, so they can get those Screen Actors Guild.
Speaking of which, you just reminded me of something. I'm going to say one name to you. Wyndham Rotundo. He's free.
Okay.
There's been pictures of him at the back lot at Warner Brothers Studios.
Right.
Do you see him coming back to wrestling or going Hollywood?
Maybe both.
Because of the Time Warner and...
Plus Tom Savini's involved with that too, so
yeah.
It's a shame they couldn't have done a movie maybe a year ago. And I mean, if they had something come out this past Halloween weekend, I definitely would have went to that.
Especially with him with the Fiend gimmick running so hot it was.
Right.
He posted something on Twitter that was interesting, saying the truth is going to come out soon. That means he's going to be doing an interview. Is he going to be on Jericho's podcast?
Probably the day after he decides to pop up where he pops up. Yeah, that's usually how it works. I mean, that's what happened with Moxley. That's what happened with...
This is speculation. Do you think he'll show up on Dynamite?
They've been saying that every friggin' week. Who knows?
That's everybody, because that's their dream right there. That's their wet dream right there. And he can't show up at Impact. They've already did the tapings until mid-November.
Right.
And apparently, who's the...
I'm going to be so pissed if I go up to Philadelphia and not go to War Chamber and he winds up there.
Rotundo?
For one night. I mean, MLW, I mean, people use that as basically like a stopgap between going to a bigger company, but...
Why didn't Owens get all the tat work done?
I don't know. It looks like as far as where he got it done, it's Jurassic Park, maybe.
Yeah, because he just had that one on his arm, and all of a sudden he comes back, he looks like he looks like a fatter Randy Orton.
Yeah. It looks like he's got Vince McMahon's wall on his arm.
Pretty much, yeah. But I'm looking forward to the New Japan shows. Anything from the NWA?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I
They just had the pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, I want to check out the results of that, but we'll talk about that maybe next episode.
Yeah, because I still can't believe they turned Aldis babyface.
Yeah, I think that's a temporary condition. I think...
He's a better heel.
Yeah.
He's a better heel. He's a national treasure.
I think what's going on with that is it's more of a real life thing. It's basically his wife is starting to butter more of the bread, and he's probably going to be, Mr. Dad.
I don't know. Who's making more there? Is it Mickey with Impact or Aldis being that and Booker with NWA?
If it not for the pandemic, I mean, for a while it was definitely Aldis, but then the pandemic kind of came, and it's like, I think they're kind of like both working there now. So, I mean, she's producing shows for NWA, the women's shows, and she's probably like an agent for the women there now. Yeah. And sounds like she's probably doing something similar with Impact as well.
Well, the thing I heard about that streaming special, it wasn't just Gail Kim. I heard it was Gail Kim and Mickey together booking that show.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. And what surprised me is, like, one day, if she isn't doing anything already, they get, like, Kong to help with shit, too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. After watching the speech and having her announced retirement, do you see Kia, which is Kong's real name, do you see her going back to Hollywood or helping out promotions?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think she'd be marketable for Hollywood. I mean, she was on that Glow show for a while, so... I don't think she'd be, like, a big name. She'd probably get, like, bit parts, but... You'll probably see her pop up in a few movies here and there, and then she'll come back to, like, Impact or somewhere like that.
Well, oh, God, no. Please, God, no.
Why?
The Queen versus the almost superheroes?
Yeah.
And what are Carmella?
Carmella Santo, yeah.
Cena.
Well, I mean, they're the tag team champions. It's not unusual to see a heel team go after the...
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Uh-oh. Here they come. Walking down the street. Get the funniest looks from everybody but me. Hey, hey, we're the Ripley. And we're going to knock Selena out of her crown.
Ripley legit looks like she can kill somebody.
Yeah, they should be.
You don't want to see her in a bar fight at all.
She should be getting more of a damn push. And I think they should make her like a monster heel. Just basically.
Now that Shayna's not on this brand anymore.
Right. Or Nia.
Or Nia, I don't know
Yeah.
why they're keeping her off TV.
It's probably a good thing. It's like she probably went back to Monster Island. I mean,
With Suzuki.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But
yeah. They're both watching their shows. But
again, what we're going to see later on this week with AEW is this is oil on water.
definitely. I mean, and it's like, okay, I can see them.
It's an
Good or
act.
bad, I could see they're trying to be like counter programming. That's what I see is going on.
With the
But-
women's match coming up now, I would love to do a time on this because they gave Bianca and Becky so much time.
Mhm.
Now, are they going to give this match 5 minutes tops?
If that.
If that?
And we'll probably miss part of it for, they don't even do picture-in-picture anymore.
They do that. Excuse me. They do that on NXT.
And by the way, I'm not a fan of Rhea Ripley's CGI graphics. She looks like a Xenobite.
well, the new Hellraiser, you do have a female opinion
Yeah.
now.
I mean, the way those chains are hanging there, it looks like they should be like banging both of them upside the head while they're high-fiving with the fans. But
Your pain is our pleasure. We'll tear your soul apart.
yeah,
Like I said, that talking point they just had was maybe 10 minutes.
right.
So it looks like it's going to be mostly action tonight.
Which
It's
good
a
for the people
change.
who are at that card. Yeah, they need to do that. They definitely need to do that.
Oh, God. I never liked this King of the Ring and Queen bullshit.
Yeah.
I never did. It's just,
I mean, it's just another goofy comedy gimmick for them. So, I mean, whatever. They're just making an excuse so you can see them feuding with the...
yeah, their feud with the Usos and
Yeah.
win the belts from the Usos. LOL.
Yeah.
And hopefully feud with Hit Row.
And I like Drew McIntyre, but I'm sorry. Bringing the sword is bullshit because...
And naming it after his mother.
Okay, but I mean, it's like... If you're going to bring a sword or any kind of weapon, you use it. And because it's a legit pig sticker, he's not going to be able to use it.
Yeah. Unless it's CCW.
I don't think they would even go that far. I mean,
They had a barbed wire hoagie.
okay, but that's not a sword. I actually had a real sword for a photo shoot that I actually cut the tip of my finger. It's a lot different than a goddamn light tube.
This connects with wrestling. They had a fan spring weapons match to a CCW show. Mm-hmm. I took a plain, flat particle board, compressed wood, and I put, say, 3-inch screws through it.
Yeah.
And I took it up there, and they put it in the ring. You actually see the ref walk by and just shake his head.
Oh, geez.
He's like, and they used it.
Oh, CCW, people used to bring some crazy fucking shit.
The pommel horse of light tubes.
I remember somebody bringing like a pink Easter bunny wrapping that in barbed wire.
Because I was holding it in the ring. I remember that.
Me and my former roommate Darren saw somebody bring like a computer keyboard with a bunch of thumbtacks glued
Yep.
to it. I mean,
I
just-
think Macaulay Culkin.
yeah.
The cardboard Macaulay Culkin covered in barbed wire.
Oh god.
Yeah.
And then I saw somebody else I think actually had like a box of like I think it was some adult movie or something. He had that wrapped in barbed wire. It's like a almost.
Oh, they had a ladder wrapped in dildos.
Are you sure that's not Joey Ryan's promotion?
It was Sexy Eddie.
Oh dear God.
Remember him?
Yeah. Yeah, the guy that almost bled to death in a tournament to death.
Who
Yeah.
actually sprayed the own blood in his mouth.
Okay.
Oh, God. But like I said, it was an interesting week. We had a closing of a company. We had some good cards. We had some shitty cards. We had some weird cards.
Yeah.
I hope Danhausen gets better. I hope he gets the picture on Twitter of him. He's in total face paint gimmick in the hospital gown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And a matter of fact, if you go to his Twitter page, it's Danhausen, all one word.
Yeah.
Warhorse posted a video of him in the hospital.
Wow.
And apparently, him and Mance Warner are in the same hospital because he went to visit Mance while Mance is laid up.
And all I gotta say is I like those wrestlers, but poor nursing staff. Can you imagine those two on morphine? Especially Mance Warner. Oh, Lord.
No, Danhausen.
Oh, Danhausen, I mean...
If he's still in gimmick on morphine, I tape that. I could watch that all day.
Probably if he's on morphine, he sounds normal and not his usual Billy Madison voice that he uses.
No, I found out where he did an interview and he found out where he got the voice from.
What?
You know who he was a big fan of?
Who?
Mark Hamill.
Oh, like from
the Joker. Yeah, that's where he got the voice from. He wanted to mimic that voice a little bit.
Okay.
And we're taping this the day after Halloween, and I had a couple of Chuckies at my door last night. They didn't get scared at me at all, and I'll explain to that after this.
So, did any of them get a job with another football team? Well, it's a different Chucky. But...
It is a different Chucky, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, anything else you want to add on, my friend?
No, I can't think of anything at the moment. I think we covered everything for that week.
For that week there was only one huge story.
Right. Yeah, and we mentioned it in the previous episode.
Especially, speaking of huge.
Yeah.
Mrs. Future Corey Graves is coming out. Lucky man.
All of a sudden that song from Big Bang Theory about it's all kitty little bopper. Carmella and a shitty gimmick. Purr.
With Alistair, who's the bigger winner, Corey Graves or Aleister Black?
Ooh, good question. I mean, it's different things. I think Carmella's agile as far as, doing high spots and stuff, but I think Zelina Vega might be a little more flexible.
You know what they're kind of making fun of a little bit with this?
What?
The Iconics. They're being dead obnoxious.
Yeah, well.
Oh, no, she's got to put the mask on. She's got to put the mask on.
Carmella Santo.
It's ready for Dr. Doom time.
Yeah.
Nikki's mask is better looking.
Yeah, definitely. Yvonne Craig at WWE.
God damn. Look at the size differential. I agree with you about the weight class.
Wow, yeah.
Real will eat her.
It looks like that Warner Brother cartoon where you have the big bulldog butts and the little chihuahua.
Yes, Spike. Let's go, Spike.
And Rhea Ripley compared to her looks like, Lenny and George almost.
Which way do they go?
I'm going to hug you and pet you, squeeze you, and throw you into that turnbuckle. Like I do with my brother George. Yeah.
Oh, run away.
I think I saw this movie. I think this was El Santo when he had Blue Demon captured by like Dracula and Frankenstein and shit. Oh boy.
Is that good? Like the Glasgow Kiss?
Yes. And it looks like, I don't know, she's like channeling her inner Eddie Kingston right now.
Eddie Kingston did. Going back to that, did I see Eddie Kingston do a drop kick on Rampage?
Oh, yeah.
That's the first time. No, it's the first time I've ever seen him drop kick.
He's done that with Blackout. Come on, he's done all that.
I gotta think about that. Oh, the one female. Is that Tamina in the back?
Yep.
Poor Tamina. She's back at catering now. I hate this.
Especially now since Dewdrop's next to her with catering. Good crud, I'm like.
I mean, no. With Kate, her and Natty were such a good fit.
Yeah.
And
I agree. They were a good team. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, they hardly ever used them.
For the tag champs.
Yeah. And it's like, this is the first, tag team title defense we've seen in a while. They haven't made any teams.
Because Vince hates tag teams. Vince hates tag teams. Almost a superhero almost did a flat splash.
Yep. And now let's see if...
They're going to commercial break!
Yep.
I never watched this show at all.
Yeah, neither have I, really.
Uh,
It looks like I said, it's a mashup of Land of the Lost and Lost.
yeah. Who cares?
Yeah. Marshall, Will, and Holly. Yeah, okay.
Well, we'll talk to you later.
Alright, you don't want to give your city...
Christopher
like
James Filato at Facebook and @C Filato on Twitter.
Easy for you to say, Sylvester. Okay, folks, keep watching, like, share, subscribe, and...
Share. Lots of share.
Yes. Get the word around, please.
Please. We're begging, please.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, kind of like the dog we're seeing in the picture.
Yeah. Same thought.
Alright.
Get out of my head.
We'll talk to you next time.
See ya.
Stay safe and have a nice